Ahoy, hoy, Pancasters. I'm Pavo.
And I'm Neil.
And this is episode 12 of That's No Moon.
It's a podcast.
It's your weekly look at all the Star Wars news all wrapped up in a nice little bundle. But this week's episode is very special because, as we record, tomorrow is when Rogue One, a Star Wars story, comes out in England.
It comes out for your delectation.
It does. And so we are going to do a little special look at our expectations, maybe our predictions, and there's also another couple maybe, or one other...
I got one other little story that I wanted to bring up because it's a good little conversation piece to have with you.
Okay, so maybe we'll do that one first.
Okay,
so
let's
here we
get
go.
on to it. So, episode 8, as we know, is next Christmas's movie. Well, there has been the rumour mill churning out, and so say the title has been released or leaked. Now, so it will be Star Wars Forces of Destiny. Now, that seems to be the favourite, but there's also been another couple linked with this of titles, and that is Star Wars, Tale of the Jedi Temple, or The Order of the Dark Side. Now, those seem to be the three most commonly spouted around. Forces of Destiny seems to be the most, as if that's going to be it. Which one of those do you like? I mean, I don't like the Tale of the Jedi Temple. Sounds like Indiana Jones sort of thing. It doesn't fit. The Order of the Dark Side, that could. But I think it goes with the Force Awakens. They could do a 3-tier Force title thing.
Forces of Destiny, I think, is the my favourite one out of the three. I think it's the same as like when you first heard Force Awakens, when you first heard Phantom Menace and stuff, you think, that sounds a bit weird. But Force Awakens is perfect for the movie. So
yeah,
I don't like the Tales of the Jedi Temple?
Which is, like I said, when you do the trawling, I mean, there's a lot of other things out there, and you think, no.
That sounds more like a novel. That sounds more like it would be Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Temple, #1, and then it'd be another title.
Or maybe like the Marvel Comics sort of thing. Like it's the canon that's different. That's exactly what it sounds like. But I thought the Forces of Destiny. What's it? Is that
the Forces of Destiny? Yeah.
That's, you see, even saying it doesn't sound right. But like you said, when we first heard the Force Awakens, the Forces of Destiny, at least it's got the word force in. I know that sounds strange, but it'd be quite nice if all three had that in the title somehow.
Yeah, Forces of Nature was number 3.
With Ben Affleck coming back to reprise his role. I don't know. That's the one I would go for. Do you think that is the title though?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed to drop as quite a big story this week, but there's been nothing official, has there? So,
no.
And I didn't think they would announce anything yet before Rogue One comes out, so
because it'll take away from the release of that, wouldn't it? So. Yeah,
but I don't know. Cause we'll talk about predictions and stuff in a minute, but I've got a little thing I think in regards to episode 8. But for me, if it was a choice of those 3, Forces of Destiny would be the one, and I think it'd be nice if they did 3 different forces, because the prequel trilogy did sort of go along with having. Like the 3rd episode was Revenge of the Sith, which sort of mirrored Return of the Jedi. And they haven't done that when it comes to Force Awakens. That doesn't sound, A New Hope, Force Awakens, Phantom Menace.
Well, they've moved on, haven't they? They've moved the universe out. They've kept it within the universe, but they've expanded it so it becomes new. It's a new Star Wars. You don't want it to be the same as the old. But no, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. Obviously, somebody knows out there. I would have thought they'd have agreed on a title.
I would have thought they know it. They know it. If they don't know it by now, then they know like what a couple is. But I would say they are. It wouldn't surprise me if they sort of know what episode 9 is going to be called now already. Especially if they're going to start filming. Like they said in May or something like that.
And the other thing is, with John Williams composing the score, surely they would have to tell him the title because he could use it as inspiration.
Well, yeah.
Do you not think?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, he probably would, because he would think, right, okay, Forces of Destiny, I need to do some sort of Destiny theme, and he would work on it like that.
But then I think he does it mainly. It's the different scenes that he'll get shown scenes, and then that's how he scores it, because he'll score like the Kylo Ren theme or the Rey theme or stuff. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't ever want to talk for a master.
Genius, God knows where they even start to
like
begin
him.
to compose music.
No.
God knows where they even start.
But I'm talking. We'll move on to Rogue One. The reason I said that I've got something to do with episode 8 is, do you think, I mean, because that's Disney and Marvel and all that, do you think that there could be an end of credit sting? An episode 8 teaser trailer, or even just telling you what the title could be?
What, on Rogue One?
Yeah. I mean, I would assume that, seeing as
it's a standalone movie, I wouldn't have thought so.
But also seeing as there's people that have been tweeting about seeing it and nobody's mentioned anything like that,
No.
whether they would.
Yeah, normally if there was a sting, people would say, make sure you stay to the end.
But I know that there's an embargo, publicity embargo. They're not allowed to review it until, I think it's 9:00 Tuesday morning, UK, America time. So that embargo's gone now, so they could say things now. But when people were coming out of the premiere on Saturday, they were tweeting, and no one mentioned it. But they did. It was overall, I don't think I saw a bad review.
No, not yet.
Everybody has been very, very positive about it.
They were talking. They had Diego Luna on the radio this morning on the breakfast show on BBC Radio 2, and obviously Chris Evans, not Captain America, Chris Evans, the other one, was raving about it, and he was saying, I don't normally rave about films, but this was just phenomenal.
When did he see it then?
Don't know, but he's seen it.
Well, I suppose because because they were doing press screenings on the Monday, I know, in America, so they probably would have done press screenings here as well.
They must have done, because some of the film and the papers have coming out, aren't they, with it? So they must have done press screenings of it now.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was interesting, actually. Diego Luna.
Yeah.
Talking about the filming of it, and how they became such a strong bond of the team, and how he was talking so highly of Gareth Edwards. I know he wouldn't otherwise, but he genuinely sounded excited. I mean, he was getting so excitable when he was talking, he swore.
Oh, really?
Which is quite funny. And I just thought, yeah, that's just buzzing. It's got to be buzzing you to see it. But Chris Evans, the way he was talking, he was loving it, and just absolutely saying how much of a blast it is, a romp. He just said it sucks you straight in as soon as it starts, and then you don't even know the 2 hours have gone.
No, everyone keeps saying how the third act is just a masterpiece, and how it runs into episode 4 is fantastic. Now I take it you've seen the trailers.
Of course I've seen the trailers, because we actually did a...
So you've kept yourself away from spoilers.
Spoilers. All I know is what I see in the trailers, so I know that Vader's in it, and I know that Jyn Erso... I have heard a spoiler, because obviously being at the celebrations, which I'm not going to repeat on here. Had Jyn Erso and her dad, and the dad was something to do with the plans, and obviously all of that, and Krennic, and we saw a bit Moff Tarkin a bit in the trailer. So I thought, I'm working out that they're going to be, and you've told me little bits. I've said, go on, you can tell me that, and that's a bit. So I've sort of got an idea of what I think's going to happen. I don't want to say too much, because... but I'm just looking forward to seeing what they've done. And like you said, the third act, we've read so many things that they're saying, it ends 10 minutes before the New Hope starts. And I want to see exactly how they've done that. And in the trailers, you can see that they put so much care and attention and detail into it looking like the New Hope. It's nothing but exciting. It is exciting. And
the one thing that was announced today... is who is playing Darth Vader.
Yes, who we met.
We met Spencer Wilding. We met at the Swindon Comic Con back in June.
Although we were told we weren't allowed to ask anything about Star Wars. So
it's nice. I did post a picture up on my Facebook of us when he was pulling sort of silly faces and stuff like that. So in regards to someone like Vader, do you think Vader is going to be, no pun or pun intended, a force in this movie?
I don't think you're going to actually see a lot of Vader. I think he will be in it, but I don't think he's going to be in it loads. I've got this sort of sneaking suspicion that is almost going to be like a cameo, but a larger than quite a big cameo rather than just one of these fleeting walk past the back. Yeah, just see Vader go past the screen and bang, and that's it.
So, out of the original characters, then, who do you think we're going to see? What's your predictions for? Do you think we're going to see Princess Leia? In some capacity. Now, I'm saying whether it's
I don't know whether we'll see her,
or
whether we'll hear about her. Maybe at the end. I think we might see some sort of clever technology, at the end or in the third act. Yeah.
R2 and 3PO.
I don't think so.
Right.
So
you're not going to see her physically putting the plans into R2 then? You don't think?
That's a good shout. I haven't really thought about that. Depends how soon.
Well, I mean, they're saying that the movie ends 10 minutes before Force Awakens, before episode 4 starts.
Do you know what I mean? What side are we seeing of the end?
Well, exactly.
I mean, you might not see any of that. It might be all the other side.
Yeah.
And that's what we see. I mean, obviously we know we're going to see Moff Tarkin, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of him. It's all going to be about Krennic, isn't it? In this one.
It is, but if you read Catalyst,
right,
there's a lot of pairings off on relationships. So there's Krennic and Galen Erso, which is Jin's father.
Yeah.
Then you've also got Krennic and Vader, and then you've also got Krennic and Tarkin.
Right.
And there's a lot of confrontation and conflict between each of those duos, if you like, between each other. So the one thing is that, as far as I can see, reading that book, is that Tarkin has to be in this movie.
Right.
Well, how much of a role? I don't know, because you know what the end game is. You know that Tarkin is the administrator of the Death Star, and Krennic is nowhere to be seen. Although someone did say, and a really, I don't know whether it's just coincidence or a really clever bit of retrofitting, if you like, that scene where Vader chokes out one of the Imperial officers. Apparently, there's an empty chair around that table, and so people are saying that's Krennic's chair, and he's just not there for whatever reason. But that apparently is his chair.
Okay.
And I thought that's a really that's what I love about Star Wars, and I love about how this is going to fit in, because again, you read a few of the reviews, and they're saying that for deep, die-hard Star Wars fans, there are loads of moments in there that, unless you're you're enveloped in this as a culture, you'll get so much satisfaction out of it. And as what I class both of us as those kind of people, that's what I'm looking forward to.
I mean, I don't know whether you'll see them all on your first viewing, because
no.
That's the thing I find with the Star Wars movie is, I mean, some people see it straight away, don't they? They're like that, boom, boom, boom. And I've had people come back to me, do you see this? Do you see that? And I said, well, no, I've only seen it once, and I just want to enjoy the experience. I'm not looking for that. I'm just watching the film as a whole.
Yeah.
And then usually the second viewing, boom, you start.
I still see things in the original trilogy that I haven't noticed before.
Right.
Which is mad. The amount of times that I've seen A New Hope, and it was only about 2 or 3 times the last couple of times that I've watched it, and I was looking in the background and noticed that stormtroopers were walking past, and I'd never noticed that before.
Oh, right, okay.
And I know that if you're watching it the first 5 times, you're not looking at things in the background. You're looking at the same as with Rogue One. Yeah. It's going to take 5 or 6 times to watch it before you
start seeing it. That's such and such. That's
exactly.
This, that's
and the same
this.
with The Force Awakens. But that's what I love about the fact that the universe is so thick with things to look at, and the first time we watch any of those kind of films, the same with Force Awakens, you just have to let it wash over you, and then go and watch it a second, third, and fourth time to get the minutiae and all the different bits.
Now, do you think you'll see it as many times as you saw Force Awakens?
I don't know. I think with hearing what people have said about it makes me feel that it's the Christmas week, isn't it? It's the Christmas week, so I could go and watch it 2 or 3 times in Christmas week. I've already watching it. We're watching it tomorrow night. I'm going to go and see it again Friday. I've got my tickets booked for Friday. Because it's obviously going to be, it'll be around during Christmas.
Yeah, it's going to be it's going to be the number one movie all over Christmas.
So that leads me on to another question, because we're sort of moving on for time. But how much do you think it's going to take? Or how much do you think it's going to take opening weekend?
Are we talking worldwide or
just go for the American box office?
I think it's going to break the 100 million in the opening weekend.
Right. Okay. Now it's tracking at the moment, I think, for like 140 million.
Which is phenomenally good.
So how much do you think? Do your prediction for
all
how much
right,
you
well,
think.
I'll say, if you're saying it's tracking for 140, I don't think it's quite going to do what it thinks it's
right,
going to do.
okay.
I think probably 120, 130 million for the opening weekend.
So do you want to say 130?
I'll say 130.
Right, I'm going to go 175.
Oh, wow.
I think with the word of mouth that it's already getting, I think it's not going to do Force Awakens numbers. I don't think it's because there was so much. There was 30 years of waiting for that.
Yeah, and also the publicity and people finding out about that one was because people that didn't even like Star Wars were going to watch that, weren't they? Because it's a phenomenon.
And I do think that they've got that problem of people still thinking that this is episode 8.
Yeah.
I still think they've got that problem. So my other question then, financially, do you think it's going to break $1 billion?
I do now. I thought it might struggle to get to $1 billion. I think it might just tipple over the $1 billion mark worldwide.
Okay.
Do you?
I think it's going to do 1.5.
Oh, right.
Again, I don't think it's going to hit 2 billion.
No.
I think if it got anywhere near $1 billion, if it got 900, 800 million, Disney and Lucasfilm are going to be over the moon.
Of course they are.
Because Bob Iger, the head of Disney, has already said that this is an experiment. They don't know if it's going to work. And as I said to you, I think I said to you before about The Force Awakens and also Batman v Superman, is that if it's a good movie, or if it's a bad movie, it'll hit $1 billion.
Yeah.
If it's a good movie, Force Awakens, it'll hit 2 billion. And that's what happened. And that's because it was a good movie.
Yeah.
And the reason that Batman v Superman should have hit $1 billion without even breaking sweat.
Yeah.
And it didn't. It only hit sort of 850 million, which again is fantastic.
Well,
but when you've
got
got Batman v Superman together on the same movie,
it
should be making $1 billion.
Without even, like you say, without even breaking a sweat, that should have been an automatic.
If something like Transformers because it hit $1 billion, something like that should be able to do it. But yeah, so I think it's gonna breeze past.
But they were saying as well. I was reading that this could, because Star Wars isn't the biggest franchise movie, is it? It's not. Did you know this? It's still not. Harry Potter.
Well, no, I was going to say Harry Potter because
that took a few, 3 or 4 of them to the $1 billion mark, and this movie could, overall takings, push this one into being the number one. It depending how it goes. So
it's fascinating. It really is, and I cannot wait. I honestly, I cannot wait. It's going to be. Again, I've got a different feeling to The Force Awakens, and it's that feeling that it is literally going into an unknown Star Wars film.
Yeah, because it is, isn't it? We know nothing.
No, you know what the end game is. You know, I'm assuming that everybody dies.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
We've spoken about this.
The whole of the Rebels.
The whole thing is, surely they have to. I think the nice touch would be that, I know it's not a nice touch, it's quite nasty, but they ought to go to Escape to Alderaan.
Yeah, I think some of them will.
Yeah.
I think because Bail Organa, Jimmy Smits is in it.
Right, yeah.
And I think that it'd be that thing, because again, you aren't going to see Alderaan get blown up, but you know what is going to happen. As a
Star Wars fan, you know.
And it's the same as I was only saying to somebody yesterday that I find it harder to watch A New Hope now because I know what happens to Han Solo for 35, 40 years down the line.
Yeah.
And it's a bittersweet watching him young and vibrant and cocky when you think your son's going to kill you. Yeah. Spoilers. But your son's going to,
How will that make you feel when you're watching the Han Solo standalone movie?
The same.
Right.
The same. And it's going to be a very strange experience because that was in the first time I watched A New Hope after watching Force Awakens, I found it really hard to watch. I didn't realise it would affect me quite as much,
I will be honest, it hasn't done... I haven't felt quite like that.
Right.
No, it hasn't really hit me like that, but no, I appreciate how it has.
Yeah. But yeah, it's all going to be good. I'm sure it's all going to be good. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night.
Well, I mean, obviously, when this comes out, you may not watch this until you've seen the film. If you've seen the film, leave us a comment below. If you haven't yet, give us your opinions of what it will be, or what you think it'll be, or how wrong we are, and whether you think it'll be a flop.
Indeed.
I mean, go brave if you want to.
And also tell us what you think it's going to take opening weekend, and also what you think it's going to take for its entire run worldwide. It'd be interesting to see how many people think it's going to hit $1 billion and how many people think it's not going to hit $1 billion. And You got anything else to say?
No, that's it for me. But yes, all the ways to contact us is below on the show notes. So please do come along, subscribe, and be our friend.
Yes, and please come and like the videos, because with what's going on with YouTube, it's always nice if you can like the video. I don't understand what's going on with algorithms and stuff like that. It might be just a great big con, who knows. But thank you very much, everybody. Please subscribe, please like the videos, please share it with your friends. Let us know what you think about Rogue One if you haven't seen it yet, and also if you have watched this and you have seen it, let us know in the comments below what you think of the movie. Thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you very much, Pav.
And we'll see you again soon. May the force be with you all.
Ways.